Welcome back to Beery Good Entertainment, everybody. This is episode 72. We are recording November 16th, 2019, and it's an impeachment party. Yay!
Got-
I'm here with my really good friend Lola. Lola, how are you doing?
I'm
Are you alive? Are you okay?
cold. I'm cold.
Uh,
And
You're in Florida. How can you be cold?
it's cold. There's a cold front that says it's 66 degrees in here. And that's cold. And even the sheets are cold. I got on the bed and I was like, it's cold. Plus, I went out this morning in the cold. I did one of those charity walks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had already committed myself, or else I probably wouldn't have gone. but I didn't make it the whole time. I'm sorry. Halfway through, I couldn't feel my feet anymore. So
Well,
me,
ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. You have proof from the horse's mouth. Hell has frozen over.
it has frozen over. I mean, it's all gray. It looks like it could snow. I mean, it's freaking cold down here.
I
And
woke up, it was 54, and it was too hot for me to keep a jacket on.
what? That's
Yeah,
crazy. That was too hot for you?
that was way too hot for me to keep a jacket on.
That's insane. You are you sure you're human?
I was in shorts.
What?
Yeah, fif
Like
54, I was in shorts. It was hot.
you're a lifelong northerner, right? Or
Well,
northwest
I'm an Oregonian.
and
Definitely Oregonian now.
you're
I
Oregon.
grew up in Southern California, though.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if you grew up in Northern California or Southern. So it was Southern California?
It was Southern California. It was, like, right next to LA.
So you've known hot weather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, okay, so I knew I had truly turned into an Oregonian. The day we went through a fairly big winter one year.
Mhm.
And one day I woke up and I was thinking, man, it is really warm as I'm riding my bike, right?
Mhm.
I took my sweater off, tied it around my waist, and I'm riding on and the bank signs that tell you, like
Yeah,
the
the weather.
the weather. I
Mhm.
rode by one of those and it said 40 degrees and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm an Oregonian now."
Well, and you're expending energy when you're bicycling and walking and stuff. Because I actually did start to feel warm while I was walking, like, my
Yeah,
extremities felt warm, but I still couldn't feel my feet. But,
yeah.
yeah, so I actually started to feel a little warm while I was walking, so you expend energy, so it does make you feel warmer. But, yeah, it's still cold. I'm cold now. I'm really cold. And I have a cold beer right here that, it's gonna be rough to try to handle it, but I'll do anything for beer.
But beer is good. Beer is fortifying and it's gonna keep you healthy. It's really gonna keep you
And
healthy.
ultimately, it might warm me up.
What is it? What is it?
It's
Let's have it.
it's one of the ones I got when I went to Beer 30 a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, ooh,
A special double cream stout. Ooh, that sounds really delicious.
from Bell's Brewery. So, I don't remember if I've had this one before. I might have, but I had to go a little cheap this time. I couldn't spend my usual $90, so I had to
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is on the economical side, so I had to, be choosy with what I got. Should I go ahead and open it?
Yeah, yeah,
I can
please.
feel it. It's
I'm
cold.
I'm itching to see what double cream stout looks like.
I'm itching too. I haven't had a beer in probably a week because I've been saving my good beer for this show.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
But, I mean, you must have suffered.
Well, I I drank a lot of wine. It's not like I was a teetotaler.
Oh, okay.
I drank
Okay,
a lot
okay.
of wine. And, I I've actually, we've been actually pretty lucky this week. We've eaten really good this week, and so I've been full most of the time, and when I'm full, I don't wanna put beer on top of that.
That's good.
Ooh, it's very dark brown, but it's still got some bubbles in it. Oh, I bet it's gonna be, like, really good, like, not too heavy. Bubbles to me usually means it won't be too heavy. Very dark brown.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, not much of a head, but that's okay if it's, you know, darker beer like that. Actually, whatever head there is it's bubbling. I think the reason there isn't a head is because it's very bubbly, and the head is kinda bubbling out. I hear it, you know how Coca-Cola, you hear the,
The
bubbling sound?
carbonation?
The carbonation,
Yeah.
yeah, I hear that. So,
Oh, it's not that sounds nice.
yeah,
Does it
it's
tickle
really
your nose
good.
like champagne?
Yeah, like champagne or something. It's got that whole carbonation thing going, which can be really good. I definitely smell chocolate. I smell a lot of chocolate. A little bit of malts, but mostly chocolate. Very carbonated, like beer, Coca-Cola. Very
Oh,
carbonated.
wow.
Mhm. Very chocolatey. Almost like, there was a chocolate soda when I was growing up. I don't remember the name of it, but it wasn't like a Yoo-hoo, it was soda, and it was chocolate, and that's exactly what this tastes like. Exactly.
I have never tasted a chocolate soda.
Let me see if I can look it up to try to remember. I don't remember the name of it.
Specialty, is that one a specialty stout? Wait, what was the
I
name of it again? Double cream?
Special double cream stout, and it doesn't really taste like a stout because I don't think of a stout as being really carbonated.
There. Oh, okay,
This
here.
is very light. It's Bell's Brewery. It says it's a sweet stout, and it is very sweet. And it says Brewers Association certified independent craft. That's nice. It says 10 different specialty roasted malts chosen to impart notes of rich mocha and espresso. Yeah, I agree. Definitely very mocha. Very mocha. Maybe a little bit of espresso, but definitely mocha. What was that soda I used to drink it? Let me see if
There
I
it
can
is.
Google it.
I found it on Bell's Beer. Here we go.
Okay.
6.10%.
Canfield.
6 6.10%.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how you can, well, it must be just 6.1. 6.1%.
That's
Named for its velvety, smooth, creamy texture, this incredibly rich stout is brewed with 10 different specialty roasted malts, chosen that impart notes of rich mocha and espresso. Dark and sweet tones intermingle with a soft, roasty finish.
yep. And I found the name of the soda I was thinking of. It was called Canfields. And if you want it on Amazon,
Oh.
it's like $26. But I used to, I know it must be, they must not produce it that much. But when I was little, and even like I think teenage years and early 20s, I loved it. I used to drink it all the time. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what this tastes like. It tastes like a Canfields. I don't know why I can't get to the
So is that good in that it tastes like a soda? I mean, does it taste more like a soda than a beer should taste? Should a beer taste like a soda?
well, it's the carbonation. It's really light carbonation and it's really not heavy at all. Not it's more like a porter than a stout, honestly. Because when I think of stout, I think of dense, heavy, which can be good. But
Yeah,
this is really
like a
light.
thicker.
Yeah, more. I don't know, heavy, more coated. I think of a
Yeah.
stout as coating your tongue and coating your throat. This doesn't do this. This is definitely more soda type texture, and I mean texture. Little bubbles, lots of little light bubbles, very sparkly, which is
Mhm.
good. I mean, I like the heavy beers too, but it's kind of fun to have like a really carbonated beer. Um, it really tastes like the Canfield soda. It really does. That's the chocolatiness, the chocolatiness.
Yeah.
So
Well, if it's a positive memory is gonna help you feel better too.
it is a positive memory. It really reminds me of that. And now I want Canfield soda. I
Oh,
still, I still can't get the chat on Twitch to work for me. I don't know what's going on.
well,
Oh, maybe
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
is it on the right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be on the right.
I just,
Well, as you know, we've changed locations. We're no longer in Corvallis.
yay,
Now we're in Coos Bay,
Coos Bay.
and it's very nice here. I get to wake
Uh-huh.
up to a dawn chorus of little birds outside my window,
Oh, how
and then
cool.
throughout the day we hear seagulls.
Uh-huh.
The nice thing when we come in, and this apartment is so nice inside. So nice.
Yeah.
Brand new carpet. lovely brand new linoleum and paint and everything on the inside. It's really nice. So shout out to Smith's Bayway Market here in Coos Bay
Mhm.
because we actually didn't know. Oh, Che says click the home tab at the top of the video that to see the chat.
Home, home. Um.
Oh, at the top up above the video. It says home, videos, clips,
Oh,
and
because I was
followers.
on
Click home.
videos.
Yeah,
Okay.
click home.
Okay, there we are. Thank you, Che.
There you go.
Yay. Hello.
Yeah, shout out to Smith's Bayway Market in Coos Bay because we actually didn't know if there was like a place that sold any decent beer here at all.
Mhm.
And we walked into heaven. I'm not even joking you. It's like four massive aisleways of beer heaven.
Mhm.
Like not just coast to coast beer, but beer from across the pond.
Neat.
Fantastic. So I
Cool.
looked long and hard because I knew I could only get one,
Mhm.
and I chose from Lost Coast Brewery in Eureka, California. I chose their peanut butter chocolate milk stout because
Nice.
I wanted chocolate and I couldn't get chocolate, so I got chocolate in a beer, which is kind of like getting chocolate
And
but
beer.
better.
It's a win.
Beer. I've never had this from Lost Coast.
I've never seen it. I've seen Lost Coast
Let's
before, but never that one. Ooh, we
let's
both got chocolate.
and both got stouts.
Mhm.
And I am gonna have to leave some for the
The producer. You got a little bit of head.
beautiful the producer.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a head.
Mhm.
Not an extremely thick head. It doesn't really stick to the glass very
Mhm.
much, but it is kind of hanging around. It's a nice dark black.
Very nice. I bet yours is heavier than mine. I bet yours is thicker.
Ooh, I smell peanuts.
Ooh,
I smell peanuts. It passed
excellent.
the first test.
All right. Oh man, that's so good. I love that.
Mm. Mm.
It's
Oh
good.
my god, I love it. I love it. It is exactly like peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh, how nice. Mm.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm a little jealous because I
Oh,
can't get
actually
that
it does kind of stick to the glass there.
little
After the
bit.
head has gone down, it does stick to the glass. So
Yeah.
wow,
I'm a
peanuts
little
for
jealous too.
days and it's again it's not like super thick, but it is minimally stout thick.
It's
So the texture is minimally good.
that's good.
And wow.
I'm a little
Mm.
jealous because honestly, I kind of would like that stick to your gut type experience right now.
It is kind of sticking to the roof of my mouth.
Mhm.
The peanut butter and the chocolate are all there. Like it's a really rich chocolate type of flavor
Mhm.
and then just like peanuts all down my tongue.
Oh god, I love that. Mm.
If you have a spouse with allergies, be careful opening this beer in their presence.
'Cause, the fumes might be enough to set them off. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can smell it, you can taste this is easily the most excellent peanut butter milk chocolate stout I've ever had.
That's awesome.
Ever. Really good.
Yeah, there's one here called Liquid Bliss, not here as in Florida, but over on this side. I can't remember right now who produces it, but it's pretty good. I haven't had that in a while. But I think it's
No,
Liquid.
there was the who it was Evil Twin that had or was it Evil Twin that had the peanut butter imperial something about Jesus.
Oh, that I don't think that's Evil Twin. That's the one that might be the one I'm thinking of. Oh shoot, my memory has gone to crap. Um, oh,
I can't
I'll think
remember
of
what
it.
it's called. No,
Uh,
no, no, it's not Even More
not
Jesus. We
evil.
saw Even More Jesus, and that was just, that Even More Jesus by Evil Twin is just an imperial stout.
But there's one, I remember when we were on Craft Beer Nation, they used to talk about it a lot, and I finally started getting it. It is very
Yeah,
good.
and we talked about it, oh, we talked about it just a couple of episodes ago, and I can't remember what it is.
Sweet Baby Jesus.
Sweet
The
baby
Claw,
Jesus.
that's it. That is.
Dew
Oh,
Claw.
there's one called Even More Jesus. That is an evil twin. Okay, okay.
That
Sweet
is
Baby
that's
Jesus.
and yeah, and Even More Jesus is the one we saw at Bayway Market, but
Okay,
it was an imperial, and I need to stay away from the imperials right now because just too many calories.
I know, 2 calories. I'm trying to be mindful of that. Um,
This Lost Coast is totally worth every penny. Totally worth every penny and totally worth having a, mm, very nice. Very nice.
I'm in on Duclaw's website now. And the liquid bliss that I'm thinking of, what is that? I'm trying to remember. I think it's liquid bliss. Liquid bliss? Terrapin. Liquid bliss is terrapin. They're out of Georgia. Yeah, that one's really good too. Liquid bliss. That's on our side of the country.
Liquid Bliss chocolate peanut butter porter. Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah. I might have to get that again. I haven't gotten that in a long time.
What? People are selling their empty, used 12-ounce Terrapin beer bottles on eBay.
Are people
What?
buying it? That's a question. Are people buying it?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just seeing it. It's like on the side of the Google search. It says, they're. I don't know.
You know what? If
A
people
little
will buy it,
weird.
I'll sell it. I saved all my Game of Thrones beers, and I remember people were selling their empty beer bottles for Game of Thrones, so I saved all my bottles. Maybe they'll be worth something one day.
Oh, Liquid Bliss. Apparently, Liquid Bliss came out of retirement in
Oh,
January of 2019, so they're making it again.
oh, so I guess that explains why I hadn't had it in a long time. They must have discontinued it.
Yeah, and
Okay,
it's back. So,
weird. I need to go get some. Terrapin's a really good brewery. I think they're in Atlanta.
hmm
They're really good. I like them.
to be fair, there were quite a few bottles of Founders, and I purposely did not get them
Why?
because I have lost respect for Founders a bit.
Oh,
That yeah, that whole debacle kind of made me take a step back and go, "Meh,
I
uh,
forgot about that. Now I remember. Yeah, I haven't had Founders in a long time, and after that, I went this long without having any. I'm fine.
somebody else that I've lost respect for again.
Me?
N- No, no, somebody else I've lost.
Oh, someone
No, not
else
you.
besides me. I mean, of course
Someone
you
else besides. I lose respect for you.
never. I'm I'm such a good person,
You are. You're a
and
wonderful
I'm
person.
strong. I went toe to toe with the ninja falter on a political discussion, and we
That's
basically
not
agreed.
easy. That's
It's
not easy.
not easy. It's not easy. I made
Well,
counterpoints.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I made counterpoints, and really, I think the only way we settled it was we both agreed that politicians are crap. So that's really the only way we settled our discussion.
I think
You
we
can't
can
trust
kind of
politicians; they're
I think
only in
we
it for
can kind of
themselves.
all agree that at least 90% of all politicians are crap.
I would go further. I would say 98%, because they're
98%.
yeah, because the few that you see who honestly do want to do good in the community or in it for the people, they get crushed because they aren't allowed to be honest because they're beaten by the people who are deceptive. So
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
say
the other entity I've lost respect for again is 10 Barrel Brewing.
oh, I saw an article about that. What happened?
Yep. So 10 Barrel Brewing. decided they were going to put a logo on their truck, their big, massive semi truck, saying "damn good beer." Now that's DAM good beer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that l- that that slogan has been used for
Oh,
over a decade by Flat Tail
why can't people just Google
in
stuff?
Corvallis. In Corvallis.
Yeah. Mm,
And then when Flat Tail, just rightfully
mhm.
kind of flipped out over it because they drove their semi past Flat Tail.
Whoa.
Okay, so you see your slogan on this big massive AB InBev
Oh,
semi
I would
going
be
past
pissed.
your brewery.
I would be
Okay.
pissed, super pissed.
So 10 Barrel gets upset that Flat Tail was upset and is offered to put the catchphrase on the line in a boat race. What?
The who's a what?
Yeah, apparently they want to have a boat race over it. You got to be
Is
joking
is
me.
that like the
Really?
really uncool version of like a grease style car race? Pink slip car race?
I guess.
That's the like really, really white version of a car race.
Now I understand, the beavers, the 10 Barrel probably intended it just as a cooperative effort with Oregon State University because
Okay.
beavers, damn,
Uh, okay, yeah.
but they did not do the research necessary to discover that one of the brewers in the area used
Mm,
that
that's a
slogan.
expression. Oh,
And
it's
then when they got upset, 10 Barrel got all defensive. I'm like, dude, just say I'm sorry.
they're in the wrong.
Understand that you earned the right to be flipped off. There is a photo with
Oh,
the employees of Flattail flipping
good,
off 10 Barrel.
good, good.
You have earned the right to be flipped off by
Right.
everybody
They're
at
in the
Flattail,
wrong. They
okay?
are in the wrong. They made the mistake. They need to own it.
But they got all defensive.
Mhm.
Jerks.
Assholes. Most
Jerks.
people are assholes. I get so tired of it.
So 10 Barrel, if you thought you were gonna get any sales off me,
Mm-mm.
nope. Not only did I was kind of starting like, the crushes look really good, but no, I'm gonna go get my sours from somebody else.
Mhm. Well, you know what? I've never heard of Tin Barrel, but I sure as heck have heard of Flat Tail. So,
Which is excellent.
mhm.
10
Flat
Barrel
Tail is
10 Barrel Brewing 10 Barrel Brewing was originally an independent entity. They got bought out by AB InBev.
yeah.
Understand why, don't
Yeah,
like
it's a
it,
hard industry, yeah.
but you don't have to rub it in.
Right, and they don't have to, like, be assholes, and they don't have to steal other people's intellectual property and then not admit they stole it.
Yeah, exactly,
Not cool.
exactly. Ah,
But, yeah, I mean, we've just come to expect such graciousness and, just good behavior from big corporations like that. It's just so
oh,
weird to see.
yeah, yeah, it's
It's just such a change
just
in them to act like dickwads.
yeah, I just don't understand why it happens.
Where did this turn come in their philosophy? Okay, my sarcasm is as thick as your beer. That was a lot of
Just a
sarcasm
little,
there.
just a little.
Mhm.
Well, Londoners have something even worse to be sad over.
What?
Do you know how much it costs a Londoner to go out for pints over the course of their lifetime?
Oh god, no.
£82,000 over their
What?
lifetime. Yeah,
Mm.
they average they go for at least a minimum every time they go out for pints, they're spending 23 pounds. That's like a
Damn,
minimum you can expect
how
to spend.
was that, like, $40 for us or something?
Uh,
I forget what the ratio is. How many pounds?
$2, let's, 23. Yeah, it's like 29, 30
20
dollars.
almost $30. Okay, almost
Yeah,
$30 a visit.
that's just beer, not
That's just
beer and
beer?
food.
And that's just
Just
one
beer.
person?
Just one person for beer.
Well, there's a reason they live in such an expensive city. They can obviously afford it, but that's crazy.
You're spending 82,000 pounds. That's like an investment.
That's, like, way more than I get in a year. Wow.
Now it really makes sense to me that more and more people all over the world are starting to drink less beer,
Yeah.
you know?
Or going for the less expensive options.
Yeah, it's not just the calorie count, although the calorie count is a major
Part of
reason for a
it.
lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just too expensive anymore.
It's horrible. I can't justify it anymore. I've hit the plateau of my spending. I mean, I maxed out my credit cards, so it's like I literally had nowhere to turn. Usually I could say, "Oh, I'll put it on the credit card or I'll do something,
Yeah.
it'll be fine." Well, I maxed out the credit cards and I don't have the money in the checking account and it's like blood
Yeah,
me.
beer is like the last thing on you. Yeah, you're I'll give you my blood if you give me beer.
Yeah,
Anybody need a blood
that's
transfusion?
it. Oh, you know what? It was
I'll
going
give you a
through
blood
my head.
transfusion for a beer.
I've never sold my plasma before, but it's been going through my head lately. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I already give blood. Might as well get something back. So I've been
Well,
thinking about it.
if you do it, I don't think you can drink for a while before you do it.
I'll
Yeah,
have
I know, right?
I'll have to find out. I've never done it before. I've never sold my plasma, but I'm thinking about it. I am selling my mother's china. So I got it all ready and packed up. I took pictures and I need to put it on Facebook. I don't want to ship it, so I want to find someone in Jacksonville who can pick it up.
Do you do you think it's like a generational thing that just don't really want our grandparents and our parents' china anymore? Like,
I
I don't
think
know anybody who wants to keep their relatives' china.
we don't have a formal dining space. I do have my mother's dining table in the foyer because I love it, but we don't eat
Yeah.
at it. It's just a place for me to put my purse. We don't have formal sitting arrangements. As long as I've been an adult, which has been a long time, I've never had the sit around the table as a family and eat dinner experience. We just don't do it.
I think I had it for a little while as an adult,
Yeah.
but not very long. And now, you know, Cheng and I cook dinner on the grill. We go out and we sit out on the porch together to cook on the grill, but we don't sit around a useless
Mm-mm.
table that, it's just taking up space for the rest of the time. We don't have couches. We've got a couple of decent folding chairs we take
Okay.
outside.
Uh-huh.
Those are the guest chairs. Those
Wow.
are considered the good guest chairs.
Aw,
We keep them nice and, we don't let it get rained on, and
that's good. That's very considerate of you.
most of the time we're in our gaming chairs
Yeah.
in front of the computer. We have set up a TV for watching BBC
How
stuff
nice for a group experience.
for group
That's more
experiences.
than we have. Clint watched TV on his computer. So
Well, normally, in the other place, we were watching it on my monitor.
mhm. Yeah.
But it's nice to have a separate TV so that, we can have the TV and we can actually be on the computers at the same time.
Yeah. Eh,
And we set up the very first thing we did was set up the computers, and
uh-huh.
that really hit home to me. I set up the computers before I put away my
Oh, yeah.
clothes.
Oh, yeah. I do
So
the same thing.
it just it
I'm about
really hit me as a generation. It really hit me as a generational change. Uh-oh. I think Lola's having connectivity issues. Sergeant Kuehl, hi. Ah, you're German. Yeah, in the plague time, yes, I do understand beer was very important because it was definitely safer than water. Water was a huge gamble, and in actually still in parts of the world today, beer is probably still safer than water because a lot of areas have cholera issues. Nebra Sky Disc. I actually have not heard of that. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see. Oh, we are still online, right? Okay, just making sure. Nebra Sky Disc, a bronze disc. Oh, it's an ancient map of the stars. I've never heard of this. Found with a metal detector in 1999. I think Lola's
Yeah,
back. Are you
yeah, I was
back?
really surprised because I went back there with the full battery, and that usually lasts, like an hour and a
Ah,
half or something. And all of a sudden, after a half an hour, it says your battery is low. And this silly computer doesn't give me a grace period. When it says the battery is low, it's out. I was like, well,
well, we have a chatter.
okay.
Sergeant Kuehl is German.
He's cool. I wonder what does cool mean in German? Or is that just a name?
Uh, I'm not sure. He was asking if we knew what the Nebra Sky Disk is, if we're familiar with the Nebra Sky Disk. It supposedly it was found in 1999 by treasure hunters near Nebra, Germany, and it's an ancient sky map
Ooh,
on a metal disc.
I've
It's
never heard of
dated to 1600 BC, and I've never heard of this. It sounds
it. I mean, it's
fascinating.
pretty. Huh. I love stuff like that. 1600 BC. We can't even comprehend life in 1600 BC. Huh. The oldest concrete depiction of the cosmos. Yeah. I mean,
That's really cool.
it is cool. Someone made that three 3,500 years ago. Huh. Oh.
Crescent moon, a sun or a full moon, 3 arcs, and 23 stars dotted around, apparently at random. I don't think they're random. If somebody took the time to do that, they
Yeah,
probably were like the positions they were looking at.
probably. It's probably the way this guy actually looked at that point. How neat. There it says there's a multimedia visitor center. So is it in Germany?
Yes.
Huh.
In the Ziggelro Okay, I cannot pronounce this correctly. It's southwest of Berlin, Germany. It was discovered in Nebra in the Ziegelrode forest. Siegel wrote a forest. Oh,
Sounds
man.
good to me. And you're actually sort of German, right?
Well, my dad was German. I don't have a lot of the German language under my belt. So there is a lot of the language that still escapes me.
It's hard. It's hard to say these words. We're not used to really multisyllabic words like this. Like I'm on the Wikipedia for Landesmuseum for Vorgesticht Sachsen dash Anhalt. I don't know if I said that right. Vorgesticht in Saxony Anhalt. So that's where the permanent exhibition is.
I wonder if it predicted the downfall of American society by a terrible president.
Well, if you look at the TV show Evil, that there is a prediction of basically the end of the world and evil coming up and all this stuff. So yeah, maybe. Wait,
Maybe.
I'm going to try to say this sentence just because I want to try. The museum was founded by the Thuringische Sachsicher Verein für Erforschung der Vaterlandischen Altertums und Erhaltung seiner Denkmal in Naumburg.
Wait, what? Are you on the Wikipedia?
I'm on the Wikipedia for a House State Museum of Prehistory. That's where it's permanently housed.
What?
Huh?
Give me the link, please.
Okay. Hold on.
Pretty please.
Yeah. I just want to see if I could say it. I actually took
Now I'm interested if I could say it.
Yeah, I don't know if I did a good job. I used to be better at mimicking languages, but my brain's just too worn out. Let me find the chat again. I kind of lost the chat. Okay. Yeah, see if you can say
Landesmuseum,
it.
Landesmuseum für Vorgeschichte in Hall is the archaeological museum, the German state of Saxony-Anhalt.
The sentence I read was at the bottom.
Oh, the museum was founded by the Thuringisch Sächsischer Verein für Erforschung des Vaterländischen
Sounds much better.
Altertums und Erhaltung seiner Denkmal in Naumburg.
You sound much better than I sound. You got that that kind of thing going on. Unda, unda.
Und and
Ugh,
für is four.
four. Okay.
I know und is
Und,
and. That's
und. I get it all from the Rocky Horror Picture. So und that was fun. You did a
Oh,
much better job
I like German. I like actually, practicing. That's
with the
pretty cool.
language. Sergeant Kuehl, I bet Linda did a better job, didn't she? I'm just saying it right now. I'm calling it. You did a better job of saying that sentence.
And I I love German soccer and you know.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's lots of German beer at the new store
Oh,
too. So
oh,
I'm gonna have to alternate. Every other week, I think I'm gonna get myself a German beer.
good idea. That sounds awesome. I wonder, are they still releasing Oktoberfest? 'Cause that's my favorite.
Yeah, I saw at least 4 to 5 different Oktoberfests in so they're not releasing them, but they're
But
still
they're
out in
still
the
there.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite German beer. I just love Oktoberfest.
You really should try to snap them up before December, though.
Yeah. I'll try. I just
After December, like, they've just been sitting around for a while.
they're kinda skunky at that point. Yeah.
They're gonna start tasting really sweet after that.
Yeah, and I don't want that. I like the true October flavor. Not too malty, not too sweet, not too anything. Just right.
Yep, just right.
Just right.
Ah, well, Shall
We
we? Shall
shall.
we dive
We
in?
shall. The moment I've been waiting for 3 years.
3 years. I think
Finally.
we've all been waiting for this, and it seems yesterday it seemed um pretty inevitable. Did you
Uh-huh.
manage to watch any of like the snatches of questioning that happened?
I haven't been able to because I've been at work. But I've been reading the highlights. Did Marie Yovanovitch, did she testify?
Yes, she
Ooh,
did testify,
that's
and
mhm,
uh in response, okay, I have to stop saying In
mhm.
response, Trump began to tweet really nasty things.
God, he is such a nasty person.
Really nasty things. Like I think he feels threatened now.
He's in a corner and all he knows is to spew vomit when he's in a corner. He's like a toddler.
Yeah, his speech in Louisiana was atrocious. It was I listened to CNN's Jake Tapper.
Mhm,
And Jake Tapper usually gives the fact checking.
mhm,
And in this case, he gave, he gave some pretty good fact checks with
okay,
some actual video backing his fact
mhm,
checking.
mhm.
Uh, the whistleblower's complaint, apparently, the whistleblower's complaint was in alignment with what was released by the
Right,
president, even though the president said the rough transcript caught the Democrats in a giant lie,
what is he
and that
talking
Pelosi and
about?
that Pelosi had lost her mind because of it.
He's
But that
making
wasn't true.
crap. No, we read the transcript. I linked to a PDF of the transcript of the July call. It
Yeah.
doesn't it doesn't matter. What boggles my mind is they keep saying we need to see this whistleblower. Who is this person? It doesn't matter. It's out there. What he reported is out there and it's true. We can read it for ourselves. It's all
Yes.
there in the transcript.
Trump's director of national counterterrorism,
Mhm,
Joseph McGuire,
mhm.
confirmed that the whistleblower's complaint was true.
It's true. You
That
can
what
read
he
it.
said was true. If your own counterterrorism person is saying it, you're in trouble. You're lying. It's
Well, and Trump doesn't care about our intelligence operations. All he cares about is what makes him look good. He's defied our intelligence operations many times, saying that they're wrong, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry, he's not on our
one
side.
of one of the serious mistakes I think is going to get him into trouble with Republicans next
Mhm,
week.
mhm.
He overruled our military justice system and pardoned
Oh God.
3 individuals who had had their ranks stripped from them
Mhm.
and punished. He pardoned them and returned the rank at least one of their ranks.
They
At least
can't
one of them,
do
he
that.
returned their rank.
You can't do
It was
that.
a violent offense, and he pardoned this
So,
person.
do we have any idea why he did that? Usually it involves money or someone has something over him. Do we know why he did it?
I actually didn't have time to actually look at because I only saw it a couple hours ago.
I didn't know anything about this.
But a lot of Republicans are up in arms about it
Mhm.
because they respect the military justice system. If the
Yeah,
military justice system takes the time to investigate the complaint against
yeah,
you, finds you guilty, and punishes you, that is the military justice system. Even though the president is commander in chief, he
yeah.
still should
He's
not be
not supposed to
overruling
do
the
that.
military justice system.
He's not supposed to do that.
That's kind of that is a blatant abuse of
Well,
power.
and that's, it's part of I think it's part of the balance of power. I mean, the military, those are the experts. Now, I will interject and say there are times when I think that the military did not do justice. They did not serve justice, but that's not I knowing what I know about Trump, I don't think he's sticking up for the little guy. I don't think it's a case where maybe someone was wrongfully accused and Trump's coming up and saying, "No, I'm gonna stand up for this person." No, when it involves Trump, it's usually money or threat of scandal. There's usually something nefarious. But with that said, it's still the military's business. He doesn't need to be coming in and overriding what they do at the top level. It's a bad, bad idea. Just like he should. This is one of the things I discussed with our friend Jason earlier. I said he should not have pulled our troops out of Syria because we were holding back Turkey. We were what was holding Turkey out and keeping ISIS prisoners in. And when he took that out, he destabilized the structure and it led to war and people dying. He needs to
Mhm.
let the military do what they do. And like I said, I realize that sometimes I don't always agree with what the military does. But in these cases, I think he's overstepping his bounds.
I think so too. He's not well, he also continues to insist upon things that are blatantly untrue. Now, I'm not a Democrat. I am close to a Democrat. I'm not quite a Democrat. I might want open borders. I might be in support of open borders, but I know that the actual Democrats out there, I haven't heard any Democrat in power say, "Oh, we just want open borders." And yet Trump is continuing to insist that all the Democrats want open borders.
He's attributing everything that he's against to the Democrats, and it's not
Yes.
that simple. It really isn't, 2 factions against each other. We're all individual people, we all have individual ideas. I don't believe in the two-party system. In my ideal world, we would have a lot of different parties or no parties at all. Honestly, I would prefer to have no parties. I would prefer to judge people on who they are. And that way, the politicians wouldn't feel beholden to a party ideal. They wouldn't feel like they had to, push something, even if they don't personally believe it. I would rather just individuals run. But everyone has to
I
group.
l I like that I like that idea too, having a no party system.
Yeah,
I understand that for reasons of chaos, it's probably not going to happen.
probably not.
Uh, People want to align with with a specific thought
People
process,
want to
and
group themselves.
that's where the party system comes in. But failing that, I would rather have more parties
More parties, yeah. If we have to have parties,
with equal access to the
representation, yeah.
ballot.
And the debates, they also need to be able to be
Yes,
in the debates. It shouldn't be just
having
Republicans.
having these limitations on debates, you have to raise this much money in order to be part of the debate.
That's not cool.
I despise it.
I do too.
Absolutely despise it.
If someone's running for president, they should have a voice. Now, I understand that might mean 200 and something voices, but we just gotta figure it out somehow. Everyone deserves a voice.
Well, here's the thing, they drop out when they run out of money.
Yeah,
They themselves take themselves out. I mean, we've already had a
true.
lot of Democrats
A
drop
lot of
out.
people dropped out.
And I understand that a lot of people are sick of hearing about nothing but the Democratic,
Yeah.
the whole Democratic gambit.
Mhm.
But if you are interested in removing the Republican element, you will appreciate the fact that the only thing anybody is talking about is the Democratic race.
Mhm.
It just seems like a good way to overwhelm that system with your voice,
Mhm.
which doesn't necessarily make it fair
Mhm.
because now still all we're hearing about is the Democrats and the
Mhm.
Republicans.
Yep.
We're not hearing about the independents, we're not hearing about anybody else except the Democrats and the Republicans. That's not a good thing.
No. And I will take a page from our friend Jason's book. A lot of that has to do with the media, because the media cover the big races or the big candidates that they think are big, and they don't cover the little guy. Um,
And I will agree with Jason on the fact that it is difficult to try to find the exact truth in media reports.
mhm,
I have to resort sometimes in wondering if I'm only being shown one version of the
mhm,
truth. I
mhm.
have to go incognito
Yeah,
on
you're
another
right.
browser window and look at the same page
And
to
you'll be
see if it's
amazed
the
at what you
same.
see. It's different than if you go in as yourself and they think you're liberal, you only get liberal news. And I'm sure it's
That's
the
true.
same if they think you're conservative, you only get, and that's an echo chamber, and Jason has talked about that before too. It's all an echo chamber. You're only fed what you already know, and so it just
Yeah.
reinforces what you already think, not what you know, what you already think, and you never expound on your opinion. Another thing I hate, there's this app I use called Flipboard, and I was reinstalling it, well, installing it on my new phone, and I'd forgotten. It asks you what your interests are, and there's a hashtag liberal view, conservative view. And I realized
Mhm.
the whole time I had marked liberal view and not conservative view. And no wonder I'm always getting, one side. I'm not that I generally don't like conservative media. I'm sorry, it's just true. I don't. But I also don't always like the liberal media. So, but I'm only getting one side because I picked that hashtag liberal media and it just made me mad. I'm like, stop pushing people into boxes. Even the
Yeah.
stupid little app is pushing me into a box. It just made me mad.
Che is asking, but Jason himself turned off political posts on Twitter. I know he said he did that because he was tired of seeing it.
But he
I
still talks about politics a
but he
lot.
still talks about.
He does, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he does.
It's, I feel that when we get closer to when the Democratic candidate has been chosen,
Mhm.
Jason and I actually go head to head. I think sparks may fly.
Uh-oh. Well,
We
I'm
both have strong opinions
yeah,
about politics. I just don't like public confrontation,
I don't
but
either.
it is vastly important that we have those discussions, even if they're filled with conflict.
And even if they're painful, and they can be
Yes.
painful, because no one wants to be in conflict with their friend. It's hard. Well, I think Jason likes conflict, but I don't like conflict. I don't like it. I hate it. I really hate it. But I also have the little voice in my head that says, Lola, don't be a coward. Don't be a stool. Don't be, there's that phrase that something bad things happen when good people say nothing, something like that. And so I always think
Yeah.
about that. I'm like, I have to say something. If I feel something, I need to say it. So I'm always having these arguments in my head. I'm like, I don't want to confront. I just want to talk about happy things. Let's all be happy and watch Hallmark movies. But then there's a part of my psyche that kicks in and says, Lola, we can't do that. We can't live like that. That's not the way this world is. So I have to like push myself to say my opinion, and it sucks.
Yeah, but Che also says there's no point in Sparks flying. You vote for your choice. He votes for his. No point trying to
And that's
convince
true.
each other.
That's true.
It's not about
I
trying to
agree.
convince each other. This is about getting our viewpoints out. Just because sparks are gonna fly doesn't mean we shouldn't let those views out. It's not about convincing each other.
No.
It's about convincing the American public that they need to get out and do something about it.
And not necessarily convincing people that you're right. Maybe it's more about convincing people that they need to open themselves to different sides and they need to really think about this. But you know what? I
Yeah.
know I'm not gonna change anyone's opinion. I know that because people, they picked their sides a long time ago. Most people, not all people, but most people. So I'm not gonna berate them or, try to trick them into voting for somebody. I'm not gonna do any of that crap. But if they're saying their piece, I'm gonna say mine too, because I don't want my feelings to be buried. So if someone's saying,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, then I'm gonna counter and say, well, that's partially true, but also this. I just try to counter when I can. But
Yeah.
I'm not a hardliner. I've never been a hardliner on anything. So I'm not gonna sit there and say, you're wrong, I'm right. Because I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've been wrong before. And I do believe everyone has a right to their opinion. And if I try to hardline someone into switching to my side, then I'm just as bad as the people out there who are, trying to
Mhm.
switch people to their beliefs. The person who comes to the door and says, have you met Jesus Christ? Well, you're going to
Oh.
tell if you don't. Yeah. I'm just as bad as that. I don't want to push my beliefs on anybody because no one knows for sure they're right, you know? I don't know.
No, but if I can make somebody upset enough that they decide to pick up that pen and vote,
Yeah.
that's it's worth it for me, no matter what their opinion is.
Mhm.
If they start feeling strongly enough that the last time they decided not to, but this time they decided, "Mm-mm, I'm gonna show people what I think," then I've done exactly what I set out to do.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way I like to poke the beast too.
Yeah. And
Just
that's
in a
okay.
just for a different reason.
Yeah, and that's okay. As long as it's not a self-serving reason, like everyone will believe what I believe because I am right and no one shall defy me. As long as it's not like that, that's fine.
Mm. No, no, as I said, I would like to see open borders, but I
Mm.
know a lot of people don't agree with that.
Well, we started as open borders. 100 years ago, we were open borders. And then someone decided we need to close up shop.
I think it's gotten ridiculous.
Yeah, it
So
has.
how so for a percentage, what percentage do you think this impeachment has as of like yesterday? I know there's been lots of drama flying around. Do you think it's a good percentage of impeachment?
You mean a percentage, like a chance of it succeeding?
A chance of it succeeding, yes.
Well, that's one of the discussions I have with Jason. He thinks it's a waste of time and money because it won't go through the Senate. My personal belief is it may not be successful, but I understand the people who are bringing these charges against him. They probably want their feelings on record. So when history judges us down the line, at least when they talk about these people, it'll say they brought impeachment charges and they tried to do their bit. I can understand how they would feel that way. And me, myself, even if it's not successful, it's on record and it's all laid out in the open. Everything that happened, everything he said, everything he did is out all laid out in the open. And that's important to me. And even if it's not successful, at least we've dragged it all out in the open. And maybe he'll think twice before he does shit like pulling all the um, military out of northern Syria. Maybe he'll think twice about doing stuff like that.
I think it is it is entirely possible that the impeachment may
Yeah.
succeed, but he won't be removed.
Yeah, and see, I'm still a little hazy on that. If I thought if the impeachment was successful, I thought that meant he would be removed, or do they still vote on that?
No, they still have to have quite a significant amount of the other half coming in to agree
Mhm.
that he should be removed from office.
Yeah.
I think even having a successful impeachment vote would be good. And I think it does have a chance of passing because not only are we seeing all these tons of lies. Yeah, exactly. Clinton was impeached, but
Mhm.
the Senate basically vetoed. I think having him impeached sends that message.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel useless to me.
Mhm.
I'm not exactly sure what will happen.
Me neither.
But like you, I would like that message to be sent that
Me
we will
too.
not accept this behavior
Yeah.
from the commander in chief.
Right. Mhm.
I'm never going to think of myself as anything less than a sailor. So yeah, he's still kind of my commander in chief, and I feel pretty humiliated by my commander in chief right now.
I do
I don't
too.
like that,
Mhm.
and uh, I feel like he is disrespecting veterans left and right,
Yeah.
disrespecting the military justice system, uh, disrespecting citizens.
Mhm.
I fight for it's I want to stand up for citizens every day of my life, not just back when I was in the Navy.
Right.
I I don't want somebody I can't respect in that position.
He's a loose cannon, the shit he does. I mean, the focus of the impeachment inquiry is, in my opinion, he very explicitly laid out that if Ukraine wants their aid, they're going to look into Burisma, which is code for Biden. All this is code for Biden. They get around it sometimes because they say they're looking at corruption in Ukraine. Are you trying to tell me Trump really cares about rooting out corruption? When they say corruption, or even when they say Burisma, they mean Biden's. And some of Trump's staff has actually said Biden. They have actually said the name Biden.
Well, Kurt Volker already admitted that Biden was let me get this right. Biden was executing US policy at the time and was it was widely understood internationally he was active in correct policy in what he was doing.
Yeah.
Now, Biden's son
Oh,
being
Beery.
on the board of a company that was actively being investigated looks bad, but the prosecutor was already everybody wanted the prosecutor gone anyway.
Yeah. And that was part of the call. Trump was telling Zelensky, you had a really good prosecutor, but they drove him out. Well, he was saying it was a really good prosecutor because the prosecutor was the one looking into Burisma. So,
Yeah, but the European Union, oh, here we go. The European Union, the International Monetary Fund, and tons of anti-corruption activists all wanted him gone.
so there was something going on. There was a reason they wanted him gone.
600, 700 million that will you spend put it towards the VA over wasting it on impeachment. Uh, it's difficult to take, to I admit I'd rather see money spent on the VA,
Yeah.
but I would also like to see justice
Yeah.
done. I'm not sure how much justice it's a hard thing for me to figure out whether I'd want that money spent on the VA or whether it's better to have this guy impeached because he's doing all this kind of crap wrong. He did from the
He's
beginning this
doing
guy
so
has
many
been
things
bad.
wrong. So many things. And I mean, he almost took us to war with North um, Korea. He's really, I felt like he brought us to the brink with North Korea. And I mean, it's just a matter of time before he does something even more egregious than what he's done. And I admit that we are spending a lot of money on this impeachment inquiry, and that sucks. But I also believe that we have to set the precedent. Somebody has to. There has to be a line in the sand, famous line in the sand, and we have to say, "Stop. This stops now." And unfortunately, the only way to do that is through this formal process that costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, through it all, he's still doing unbelievable crap. I mean, he's already been found guilty in a court of law about, about his money on his own campaign. He used money illegally.
Yeah.
The
I know
court found him guilty of that.
I know a lot of his cronies are being found guilty. Roger Stone has just been found guilty. And these are the people around Trump. That Igor guy and the other guy are guilty. And then Trump says, "I don't know those people." And then you see,
Yeah.
pictures of them together and pictures with Giuliani and them. It's like, yeah, they all know each other.
And I agree, Jason. Pence is much scarier than Trump.
I don't like Pence either. Pence is anti-gay, abortion, anti-everything. I
But I don't think he'd have enough time to do much damage before the election came up. And that's if he wanted to jump in there to the election.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, at this point, what I'm hoping is that the pro-Trumpers are weakened and that this just paves the way for someone else to be elected in 2020. And I'm not putting myself in the Democratic camp. I'm not saying a Democrat. I'm saying someone else.
MAGA hat wearers are not their minds are not gonna be changed.
No,
But those people on the edge
yeah,
may have enough impetus to get out there and actually vote instead of just, spending another day watching TV.
yeah. And another thing I would really like to see third parties rise up. And I chickened out last time. Jason and I talked about it last time because he was going to vote for a third party candidate. So was I. I chickened out and I voted for someone I hate. And I hate this person. I've hated her for a long time. But I chickened out. This time, I'm not going to vote for someone I hate. If I have to, I'll vote for a third party candidate. And I want to
Harris already dropped, right? Harris already dropped, right?
I heard that she
Kamala Harris.
I didn't hear anything official, but I haven't been paying attention as much as I had been. She may have. I know that Kristen did.
Uh, no, Kamala Harris's last stand, struggling 2020 campaign plans. Um, I I would vote for Sanders.
I used to be really
Might
pro-Sanders.
I might I don't know if I'd wanna vote for Warren.
I like her, but I don't know if I always like her ideas, and I'm not sure she fleshes out all of her ideas. I just don't know.
If Clinton decides to run,
Hell,
that is the end of humanity.
right. No, I'm
If
done.
if if Clinton jumps in, not only will we not get the impeachment done, we will lose everything.
Yes, please, no,
Like,
please.
everybody would vote for I have heard people saying they if Clinton jumps in, they'd vote for Trump.
I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far.
No, I would not go that far, but I have heard people say they would do it.
That's horrible. That's awful. I'll write your name in, Linda,
Write
before I
my
do.
name in?
Yes, I'll write your name in. I mean, if it comes down to Clinton and Trump, I'm writing your name in. I am not. I let
You
myself
write
get.
mine you write my name in, I'll write Jason, Jason writes you, and bam, we're in there like Flynn, and, we have a triple presidency. We'll share the presidency among 3 of us. Maybe we won't do too much damage.
Yeah, And Jason says third parties won't work. Look at everything out there. Xbox versus Sony, Android versus iOS, Coke versus Pepsi. I don't think large groups of humans can think outside of this or that. But
That's
Tuck,
that is totally not true. Take a look at
yeah,
Europe. Take
yeah,
a look at Europe.
yeah, and Tux Ramus had made the point about Parliament earlier, and I do like the way they do it. In England, not voting for the party. And if the person loses favor, the party ousts them. That's what happened with Theresa May. People stopped liking Theresa May, so the party fired her and hired what's his name? I don't understand why
Boris
that idea.
Johnson. Boris Johnson, which
Boris
became even
Johnson.
worse.
So he looks like
I
someone
have to
took a
agree.
tin
I
dog.
yeah, I agree. I don't see
Yeah,
the
I
two-party system changing very quickly. I don't see it
maybe not
changing very quickly
here.
at
Yeah,
all.
it's so entrenched here, and it drives me crazy. So Tux Ramus said Ireland has proportional representation. So how does that work? Che, how does that work? Or Linda, do you know how
Uh,
that works?
I'm not I'm not very I'm not very well versed. I have like this bare hint of an idea on other political systems. I've been concentrating
I
so much on ours.
I just
I
found out
feel a
that they're
little
being
ashamed
hard
that I
right now.
can't say that I don't wanna say something that isn't true, so I
Yeah,
just would rather try not to explain it.
yeah. I don't understand a lot either of that stuff. But Jason said U2 is Parliament and Bono is King, and that's true.
King.
I love you too. I've loved you too since I was like 15.
Wow, you're so
Okay,
sweet. I love you too.
I love you too. Oh, you're so sweet.
Aw.
Yeah, but I don't know much about how it works in Ireland. I actually have no idea how it works in Ireland. I have zero idea. Mm. Oh, okay. We have a lot more notes.
Ah, here we
Mhm.
go.
Yeah,
Proportional representation, the system of voting in the Dale elections, presidential elections, proportional representation with a single transferable vote in multi-seat constituencies.
those are a
3,
lot of
4,
work.
and 5 proportional representation means, as a voter, you can indicate your first and subsequent choices for the candidates on the ballot paper. The names of the candidates will appear in alphabetical order on the ballot paper together with their photographs and their party emblem. So you basically it's a prioritization. You
Oh,
prioritize your votes,
that's good.
your first choice and then your second, your third and so on and so on.
I like that.
Well,
That
you don't have to yeah, you don't have to do that, though. You can just mark 1, or you can go for all of them until preference has been given to all the candidates. Hmm, I like that. I like that. I think we should actually do that.
I think that would save having to do runoffs. If you can do like first choice, second choice, third choice, if it's
Yeah.
really close, then you don't have to do a runoff. So that's helpful. I don't
Let's
know.
well, I know we've barely touched on your notes.
Yeah, that's okay. I was just kind of explaining what's at the heart of the impeachment and the phone call. Because my point is, I hear a lot of people crying about who is this whistleblower? We need to be able to face them. Doesn't matter who the whistleblower is, because we've seen the transcript and it's all there, and it's blatant. Zelensky asked for javelins, and Trump says, "I want you to do me a favor, though." Zelensky asked for aid that was already approved, and Trump says, "Oh, but I want you to do me a favor, though." look into this whole Ukraine thing with CrowdStrike and the server. And apparently, there are some people who think that Ukraine has the server with some about the Russia hacking in the 2016 election. But the hacking in the 2016 election, I thought that was pro Trump. And now they're trying to spin it like it had been helping the Democrats. I don't know. It's just all kind of turned
Well,
around.
the fact was those funds had already been earmarked.
They'd already been
They had
approved.
already been approved. Why was he even talking about, "But I want you to do me a favor, though"?
He had no right. He had absolutely no right. But he cajoled people around him to hold up the aid, and he shouldn't have. And that's what a lot of
No, you know what? The only thing he should have been doing was calling up Ukraine and saying, "Hey, we got your money here. Where you want the check sent to?"
yeah, because it's very important that you hold off Russia because Russia traditionally has been, an enemy of the United States, and of course, we don't want them to have a toehold in other countries, like,
Well, Russia, yeah,
Syria.
we're not Russia's only target.
Yeah,
We are not.
yeah.
There are plenty of other places that Russia is attempting to target to influence.
Oh, yeah. Who else do you
We need to be building up allies. We don't need to be crushing our
and
allies.
our allies are Ukraine, the Kurds, but we've done nothing but hurt them. At least Trump has. I don't It's just upsetting to me because he's doing this all for personal gain. They may try to turn around and say, "No, he's trying to root out corruption." He doesn't care about corruption in Ukraine. He's not some, I don't know, vigilante trying to root out corruption.
That's
When
really
he
not
said
yeah, it's uh I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when they use code words, and corruption means, they wanna investigate Biden. Bereavement
Mhm.
means they wanna investigate Biden. It all comes down to Biden. And in fact, a few of the staffers have actually said Biden has come out in the impeachment inquiry recently that they've actually used the name Biden. It's all for his own political gain, and that's not the way it's supposed to work. You
Do you
when
think
you
he's doing this because Biden is that much of a threat to him?
I think
Or is he just or is he just doing it because?
I think Trump is his own threat. Trump is his worst threat to himself. I don't think Biden's really a threat. I really don't. But I think that trying to get all the he's trying to get all the dirt he can. That's what it seems like. And
Yeah.
he doesn't even know how to cover his tracks. If he hadn't have said this shit during this phone call, we would have known about this. But
Yeah.
he didn't even have the sense to keep it under wraps. That astounds me. I mean, it's like he's not even good enough to be a criminal.
I don't know. I don't know about all the stuff that was, oh, quote unquote, overheard during the phone call. I don't know how, because there's none of that. We can't prove any of that. Apparently, he was talking loud enough for, other people to hear him outside the
Mhm,
office.
mhm,
Beats me. I don't know how accurate that is. Seems like he would do that though.
mhm, mhm.
I mean, he wants to be overheard by everybody, doing everything.
Yeah, it just makes me shake my head. He's just he doesn't do himself any favors. He's toxic, and if people were smart, they would get the heck away from him.
Well, I mean, that is why I'm hoping the impeachment goes through to exactly to weaken his position.
I
It
hope.
will weaken his position. I don't know if it'll be enough, but it would weaken his position significantly,
Well,
especially if we manage to drag a few more down with him.
even if there weren't the impeachment hearings, I don't believe he would be elected again. I think there's just too much ill will, it's too damaged. But I huh?
Sorry, no, no,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna
I wanna wait until I wanna let you
mm,
finish.
I was gonna say, I still agree with having impeachment proceedings because, like I said earlier, this needs to be on record. The history books need to show that the people who were more sensical did everything they could to stop this. It needs to show. But I don't think he's gonna be elected, and my honest feeling is that if it hadn't been for interference, he wouldn't have been elected in the first place. I do think there was, questionable things going on. So
It last time, if you'll remember, it was a joke.
mhm.
All the way up until election day, Lola, it was
Mhm.
a joke. We were all laughing.
Yeah,
"Ha, ha, ha, Trump is
yeah.
president.
How that'll
OMFG,
never happen.
what do you mean he got elected?"
I was sitting here in this very chair when they were showing all the red states, and Clint came in, and I was crying, and I said, "He won." I was like, "What the hell happened? The fuck? What the hell happened?" I was like, "I'm living in a nightmare."
And, I can't help but think it could happen again if we're not careful. If we let people think that they don't have to vote, if
Mm,
we don't poke the beast,
yeah.
it's definitely gonna happen again, which is why I feel personal responsibility to try to at least make people
Yeah.
feel that it is important enough for you to at least make a mark on the paper. You don't have to go out and attend protests.
Mhm.
You don't have to have debates. You don't even have to look at the TV as long as you make your mark
Mhm.
on that paper.
And vote your conscience. I still regret that I folded 3 years ago and I voted for Hillary Clinton even though I hated her. I folded because someone on Facebook pleaded with me because I was in a swing state, pleaded with me to vote for her. I had been all set to vote for someone else. Well, it didn't help that I wasn't thrilled with the third party candidates either. There wasn't a third party candidate that I felt like I could get behind. So I'm still mad at myself. I betrayed my own conscience and I voted for someone I hated. So I would like everyone to vote your conscience. And what that means is if you're Christian, don't let it go that he said things like grab you by the pussy or I could shoot someone in Times Square and no one could, convict me. Don't let those things go. You don't vote for that person. Find a third party candidate. Please try to find a third party candidate or write in someone. But don't vote for someone like that. If people would vote their conscience, then we wouldn't have this problem. And I understand that there are a lot of conservative people who don't want to vote for Democrats because of issues like abortion and gay rights and stuff. I'm not going to argue with them about that. They made up their mind. I'm not saying they have to vote for a Democrat, but please don't vote for Trump. Please vote your conscience. Don't vote for someone who would say things like that. Just don't.
Now there's Jason makes an interesting point. Whoever says that they will make it so politicians cannot use social media to campaign during their term, you have my vote. Do you think that social media is an unfair advantage?
Well,
I mean, obviously, look, obviously, Facebook does not give a crap what you're seeing. Not only have they climbed into bed with, the quote unquote enemy, they literally said they would not stop people if they lied. They
yeah.
said that. So knowing that, Is social media a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, I mean, it's all advertising. I saw something for Tom Steyer on TV, an ad for Tom Steyer. He's a billionaire guy. I'm like, oh, oh, oh. So advertising is advertising. People are going to do it. Now, Facebook was, from what I understand, they were targeting people based on what they thought they believed. And, they were basically influencing the election by throwing it in people's faces, but no one's forcing people to vote. Facebook isn't forcing you to vote for somebody. Ultimately, it's every person's responsibility to make a informed decision, no matter what Facebook tells you.
Yeah, but if you're seeing a false narrative that actually is false and you don't know it, even though that social media knows it's false, and they refuse to force them to tell the truth.
Mhm. I would like for them to take responsibility and investigate what they're advertising and, have some integrity about what's on their site. I would like that.
Didn't we used to have a law about truth in advertising?
I think so.
It
Well,
used to be a thing that, if you advertise something, it had to be true.
I think that's more like, if you say you have the best car in Jacksonville, you need to prove it. That's more like that. If it's, you know, if you're pushing some
I think that could probably be,
maybe.
if you're a candidate who says, "I've raised this much amount of money for such and such," if you haven't even raised half that amount, that's kinda truth in advertising there, and you ought to be required to tell the truth.
Well, and in a lot of cases, the candidates don't actually do the advertising because 'cause they're not allowed to. Something about PACs and the candidates aren't allowed to spend so much money, the PACs have to do it. So the candidates can remove themselves from the advertising because it's the PACs doing it, the special interest groups doing it. So the responsibility, I guess, goes to the special interest groups to make sure that what they're advertising is true. And it would be nice if the social media platforms would vet all this. I don't know if they do. Obviously, they don't.
So is it better if they just say, "Look, we don't do political advertising anymore?"
I would prefer. Mhm. Jason says truth in advertising doesn't apply to the campaigns. That's kind of what I thought. It usually more applies to like retail things. Like if you say that your medicine will cure cancer, then you need to prove that.
I
Yeah.
feel like in America, a candidate is still selling themselves, and they are the commodities, so they should be required to tell the truth about
It seems like it
themselves.
should. It seems like it should, but I think that it's more like literal products, like physical literal products. But it probably should go towards candidates also.
So, well, I guess when it comes to actual advertising,
Mhm.
I think probably leaving them off social media, just the advertising unless you can actually be vetted by I don't know, I don't even know how that would
Well,
work.
I would like
I don't even
there
know.
are a lot of things I would like. I would like for it to be illegal to have advertising for medication. I don't think you should advertise medication because it's a health issue. You shouldn't I don't think you should be making profits off of it. So there are a lot of things that I think should be, but just aren't. So I would like for there not to be political advertising on TV because they're all manipulative. They show shiny, happy families and they don't talk about what's behind that. So in my ideal world, there would be no advertising for
Well,
public issue type things.
well, how about they get a website,
Uh-huh.
and every single candidate gets an equal amount of time on a TV or internet site specifically only for the candidates, and you get an equal block of time
Well, and
to
that's like
say what you have to say, and it runs every single candidate. Every single candidate gets equal shot at debates.
that's good. And they do sort of have sites like that, where I can't remember the names of them, but they run down the candidates and what they stand for and what their actual voting record is. I forgot the name of it, but there is a site like that. I mean, it's an independent site. It's not for any specific candidate. But yeah, I like that idea. How about social media for candidates?
But
And
it should be something that well, maybe it shouldn't be something. Well, if the taxpayer paid for it,
mhm,
just that block,
mhm,
and then we kept the advertising off TV, we kept
mhm,
the advertising off Twitter, off
mhm.
Facebook, off the rest of it.
Would be nice. I would
Would
like
that be a good idea?
I would like it. I bet the candidates wouldn't, and the special interest groups. And,
Having the debates, these silly bloody debates, run by CNN, run by Fox,
with
run
only
by all
few
these major
people.
media corporations doesn't help. That doesn't help.
No, I don't particularly like the debates because you're not really seeing the full picture. You're seeing what they want to represent to the public, not necessarily what they're going to do if they make it to office. It's just too easy to manipulate and I don't like it. It's almost pointless to watch because it's like you already know what they're going to say. So what's the point?
Well, in the case of the Democratic race,
Mhm.
we are we're making decisions on what type of people they are. So having multiple debates to kind of pare down the crowd, because if you don't know what a candidate even stands for, what they're like, how they speak, how they present themselves, because most people have a view of what an American president how an American president should
It holds
present
themselves.
themselves.
Mhm. And that's a good point. That's really the only reason I watch the debates to see how well they would do if they're representing us, say, in the United Nations or with a foreign power. It's just to see, how well they can debate, how well they present themselves. It's a beauty contest, basically. And that's the only reason.
Well, it's not quite a beauty contest because there is a lot of conflict in a debate. I mean, I want to see them under pressure.
I
I want
guess,
to see them. I want to have hard questions thrown at these
yeah,
people.
see how they
I just
respond.
don't want it. I just don't want it biased by a major media news corporation.
Yeah. I mean, the debates I've seen, I feel like the moderators do a pretty good job. Now, some people say they send more questions to the big candidates. That might be true. That honestly might be true. But at least I do feel like the questions themselves are good. There aren't softball questions. They're real questions.
Oh, thank you, Jason. It was Tulsi Gabbard,
Yeah, I liked her.
not
She
Kamala Harris. It was
did a fair
Tulsi
job.
Gabbard.
Yeah,
I didn't like her.
did she leave?
Yes,
Did she? She did. Okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't like her.
I liked her. She was actually
I
in the
didn't like her.
military. You didn't like her? Why?
I think she really started to go off topic. She really started to be wishy-washy, and I finally got sick of it. Yes, you're a veteran, but look, you can't be the big mouth veteran all the time. Okay? Yes, we know you have to rein it in and be a little bit, kind of, be a little bit less when you have to be.
Just be a citizen. Yeah. You don't have to play to the veteran interest all the time. But I
It just
respect
got a little she got a little much for me.
I could see that. But not as much as some of the other people. Some of the other people are much more much.
Yeah, there are a couple others that, are
Hmm.
but here's another thing. Louisiana is, I think they're voting tonight.
Oh, really? For what?
For the gubernatorial race.
Okay.
The race is
Hmm.
pretty tight. Let's see, the New York Times. The New York Times is reporting 60% for Eddie Raspone, who is a Republican, and 39 for Edwards, which is the Democrat. I don't know if I don't know if that's true or not. And I don't know how far into the vote they've gotten.
That's unusual to vote on a Saturday.
Oh wait.
That's very
Louisiana Governor Brawl sprints to photo finish in Politico.com.
I'm on Fox. I don't know. Says Edwards has a Democrat currently holding a statewide position in Louisiana. That's surprising. They usually are heavily red. Hmm. I don't know.
I don't know if Raspone has won it or not. I can't tell.
This says last updated 11/16, 9:07 p.m. a minute ago. Eddie Raspone has 60%. John Edwards
Oh,
has 39%.
so it's still a red state.
Yeah, that's very red. Yeah. And that doesn't surprise me. I mean, Clint's family is from Louisiana, and whoo, buddy, they love America and beer and Trump. And
Well, I love America too, but
doesn't mean I have to love Trump.
I love America and I love better health care.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about Raspone. I have no idea who he is. I was just kind of hoping it turned into a blue state.
Yeah. And Jason's correcting us. Tulsi is still in the presidential one. So,
Tulsi Gabbard drops the congressional race to focus on the presidential one. There is somebody who dropped. Harris is about
I
out.
she's
Yeah,
just about out.
we know she doesn't have any money.
Yeah, she's polling at like 4% or something. And she fired her staff in one.
Oh, okay. So it's Harris. I
And
don't
Kristen
know.
Bulashard, she dropped out a little while ago. Beto
Yeah.
O'Rourke dropped out. I wasn't a fan of his. I don't I don't feel good about any of them.
Who was it that took Iowa? Oh, I can't remember. Can you remember? It was I think the guy you like.
Huh?
You don't remember who you like?
I don't. Are we still talking about the Democratic field?
Yeah. Oh, Buttigieg. Oh no, you don't.
He's
You're not. No,
okay.
no, no. Okay. Was it Buttigieg that came in first in Iowa?
I don't know. Are,
Yeah. Buttigieg surges to first place in Iowa
that's good.
44 minutes ago.
Okay, that's good. I don't know much about him. I think he's gay, right? Isn't he?
Yes.
I
Yes.
like that. I mean, I'm not gonna vote for someone just because they're gay, but it's a refreshing change. Uh, I just don't know. I just don't feel great about any of them because they're all so ready to sell themselves out to be number one. I mean, they're racing ahead. You can almost see them knocking each other out of the way to get to the mic. It makes me sick.
Well, this is the way it's going to be unless we change the way our voting system works.
I would like to.
I'm a fan of changing the way the system works.
Yes.
The gerrymandering and
The
And
electoral vote?
the inability for a lot of people to vote
Yeah.
is
There's a
disgusting.
yeah, there's a lot of corruption when it comes to access to voting. And I would like to get rid of the electoral system because a lot of people would have been president if it had been popularity vote. I'll tell you what, I want to go get another beer. Will you take over for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll be right back. Here, you
Well, let's
can
see.
look at
Let
my
me just
book.
go ahead and taking a look at Lola's backpack here.
Yeah,
If I was close enough, I could just dig into it.
you could. There's a lot of junk in there.
So let's see. Is there any makeup in here? Can I have some makeup?
Yeah, there's makeup.
Oh, fabulous. Because I need eyeshadow. I destroyed my eyeshadow moving.
I got
Uh,
plenty of
let's see where we are in the proceedings. Oh, and yes, this section of the impeachment party brought to you by White Claw Hard Seltzer Ruby Grapefruit. 5%, 100
That's
calories.
good.
We love you.
Okay.
It is 5%, right? 5%.
It's so
My
cold.
personal favorite is raspberry, but I was handed a grapefruit and I'm grateful.
Okay. I don't like grapefruit. I never have. It's too bitter to me.
Hmm, tasty.
I got a 6 pack of this. It was really good. It wasn't too expensive. It was
I
$10.
can't see it.
I might have had this last week on Scanner.
Back, but oh, Wee Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's that brown ale.
It's really good. I liked it. Scottish style ale. And I mean, for not being too expensive, I like it. It's really good. And that's what I'm gonna drink. Ah, it just shooted in my face.
So, all these people that Trump told not to participate in the impeachment hearings.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's I mean,
This might be a question Jason might be able to answer. If you don't know, can they be forced? Can they be forced to testify? I know they can be subpoenaed, but do they have to? Do they have to respond to the subpoena and appear?
I would think so. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but a subpoena generally means you better be there. I get nervous that I'm gonna miss a summons to jury duty. I mean, I if you're summoned to court, you go. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, yeah, in Corvallis, they arrested people.
Mm. I've heard
Yeah.
that before. Well, he said you
Yeah.
can always plead the fifth. I mean, you could just go and refuse to say anything. At least
Say
just
no comment, no comment, no comment.
at least do that.
Well, just
I mean,
show up.
yeah, just show up, just be there.
But they're not even showing up.
And
Like the
that's
White
wrong.
House is telling these people you can't even show up.
And that's wrong. That's the whole thing of division of power. That's I mean, I learned that in high school. What did they call it? Social studies. You have the
But
division
I
of
think
power. Huh?
but I don't think these were subpoenas that were actually issued. I think they were just invitations
Oh,
that were issued.
okay. Okay.
I
Well,
think.
I don't know
I could be
either.
wrong.
I don't know either. I just wish they would show up. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Mm.
He,
I'm trying
he
to figure out like
Huh?
like when the proceedings are going to continue. Oh, here we go. Impeachment hearing schedule. Ah, no. Oh, God. Okay, I can't continue reading the New York Times, so there's a.
Yeah, and I hate those paywalls. I wish I could figure out on my Flipboard Flipboard app. I want to figure out a way that I can um, filter out paywalls because I'm tired of clicking on an article just for a pop up that says Sign in or register. Just pisses me.
I wish I could do that with like Chrome. Just say don't ever go here, but I'd have to have a third party app in there, and I don't want to mess with that.
I don't wanna mess with that either. I just some third-party apps are fine, but I'm just so paranoid about getting that one that's gonna install spyware. I just get nervous about doing stuff like that.
Full schedule. Here we go. Tuesday, November 19th. State
Okay.
Department official and advisor to Vice President Mike Pence, Jennifer Williams, and Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, an expert on Eastern European
That
affairs
will be
on the
good too.
National Security Council, will testify.
He's been
Then
very
former
vocal
U.S.
about
Special then former U.S. Special Representative to Ukraine Kurt Volker and former
mm,
NSC staffer Tim Morrison will testify in the
that would be
afternoon.
good to hear. That would be good to hear. Vindman has been very vocal on this. He is definitely
I will agree that the Democrats have been just as drama laden as the Republicans have,
yeah.
which I don't like. I
Yeah.
don't like that. Just have some dignity.
Mhm. I just don't know.
Change the presidency to one term, 6 years,
Mm. And then you don't get 2 terms. You just have 1
and
6-year.
you don't get two terms.
Interesting.
That is that's a valid solution.
I like that because
Four
then you're
years
not
4 years
campaigning.
is yeah, 4 years is at least 4 years is really 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe like two and a half, because all of a sudden you're on the campaign
They're
trail again
they're
and you're not
they're
really doing your job.
they're not governing anymore, they're campaigning, and that's when you come into stuff like what's happening now where you're using your power as president to influence your election prospects, and that's wrong. You don't mix those 2, don't cross the streams. But if you only have
Yeah.
1 term, there is no reelection. I like that idea. You don't have to do that. Now, I mean, you'll probably still support the other candidates in your party, so there will be a little bit of that, but it won't be for you personally. I like that idea.
Term limits in all offices from Congress to SCOTUS. What about the
Really.
judiciary? We need term limits for judiciary. Do we? Well, first of all, I think judiciary must have a standard set of qualifications.
Yeah.
Like you can't just pick any Joe Blow from, you have to have experience with judging national issues,
Mm,
very close to national issues,
mhm.
to actually get onto the Supreme Court.
That's a good
And
idea.
the whole thing of, the this battle between parties to get a
Mhm.
judge in there,
I'm still mad.
it
I
appalls me.
I'm
Now I
still mad.
understand nobody's gonna be 100% neutral. Nobody in the
No.
United States is gonna be 100% neutral. But we don't have to go about it like this. Term
First of all,
limits. Sorry, go
when it
ahead.
comes to the judges, I don't think they should be considered Democrat, Republican, or anything. That should not bring their way into it because they're supposed to be neutral. They're not supposed to have agendas, and it bothers me that they seem to be coming in with presupposed agendas. Also, I'm still mad at Obama because he was supposed to elect someone to SCOTUS, but I guess he let the Republicans get to him, and he backed down, and he didn't elect anyone. But Trump had no problem electing Brett Kavanaugh. It just makes me mad.
Yeah, that's true. They do. It doesn't matter whether they say
I
they're
know.
neutral or not. Every single person has a bias.
Well, of course they do, but at least it could be don't parade it around. I mean, yes, people are going to have biases, but they should not be elected based on those biases. I mean, it's like if I said, you know, I hate people who like white chocolate because I don't understand white chocolate is not real chocolate.
Should we be electing judges like we do double blind studies?
That would be
You don't say,
better.
you don't say the name, you don't say the name or identifying information. Give them a
Yeah,
number or something,
yeah.
and then
Mm.
just present their qualifications, their experience, and everything else for them to be decided upon. Is that realistic?
Well, that might not be realistic because I mean, people are people and they still want to know what they're getting. They still want to see and they want a visual idea of what they're getting. So that might not work.
But we're not, yeah, but we're not picking the judges.
Yeah, but I don't.
If it was done like a double blind study,
Mhm.
then neither the Democrats or the Republicans could know the actual identity of the person they were picking. They only know, these are the qualifications that are being this person has this qualification and this experience, you know.
But they do also need to know the background. Like with Brett Kavanaugh, I mean, there's the testimony from that woman that he raped her, and we needed to know that. So who the person is, unfortunately, does matter because we need to know their history. I don't think in this case a double blind selection would work. But I just don't like the idea that people are it's got this weird aftertaste and this weird texture. I don't like it. And people who like it
No
are wrong.
sound.
Huh? What?
No sound. What?
No sound? Is he just not hearing me because he doesn't like what I'm saying?
What?
He said,
Oh, okay. So apparently it's back. Okay, so
"Did Che mute
if you
me?"
missed that, you missed the no, no.
I bet he did
For
because
some weird reason, the
hacktivist
settings just kind of
producer.
screwed up there for a second.
Che is a hacktivist producer.
If you missed it, Lola was just agreeing with me that white chocolate is the
It's
best.
gross,
It's
gross,
the best.
gross,
Absolutely tastes
gross,
like milk.
gross, gross. Chalk, chalk. Tastes like chalk. It tastes like waxified chalk.
So
It
I'm
tastes
I'm
like
doing
what?
my I'm doing my I'm doing my best Republican impression here. It's the best chocolate,
The most chocolatiest chocolate.
the most milk chocolatey milk bar there ever was.
It tastes like something
Lola will
refined
eat
in
it
some
for
glue.
years. Lola will eat it for years. She
Ugh.
loves it.
It tastes like wax. It's like a candle dripped and someone put a Hershey's wrapper around it. I don't like white chocolate. I like real chocolate. I'll tell you what, I'll give you all the white chocolate that I come across. How's that sound?
When the apocalypse comes, I will take you up on that.
Okay. Because every once in a while, people give me white chocolate, and I'm like, I say thank you.
State needs to go back to picking the Senate too. Uh, See, and there I go with that thing again.
Uh,
I need to hire somebody behind me who
uh-huh.
like just
Cattle
every
prod,
time I say
I do it too. I'm like, oh, I'm he says
I
the
flinch
Senate
when I
should
listen back
elect
to
the
what it
president.
is.
Huh?
Senate represents the state government, so the state government should elect the senator. Technically, the Senate should then elect the president. No, no. The Senate should not
No.
elect the president. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely not.
a long time ago, when the country was first founded, they would say things like, the people shouldn't vote for the president. The people shouldn't vote because they don't have education. They have, a second grade education. They shouldn't vote. So when this first country was first started, they didn't want people to vote. They
Mhm.
wanted the representation to vote. I don't agree with that. Even though I don't always like the way people vote, I think people should have the right to vote. Mm.
Well, no, we need to get rid of the there's that again. Um okay, there's a specific word I'm thinking of and I can't remember what it is.
Uh-oh. Beer. That's
I
what it is.
wish. I wish. No, there are many states in which the popular vote doesn't count.
Oh, that's same thing with the presidency. The popular vote doesn't count, which pisses me off. Yeah.
Oregon has insisted the popular vote will count.
Good.
Whoever the people decide is
Yeah.
president
And that's the way
will.
it should be. Sorry.
I'm still trying to remember what the heck the term is. Congressional electorate? No. I feel ashamed now. I can't remember the term.
Oh, I can't remember anything. I can't. My brain is horrible. I just don't.
I'm being human right now.
It's okay. I'm human all the time.
Unfortunately, and that's how Trump got elected because they overruled the popular vote.
That still pisses me off.
All I can think of is congressional electorate, and I know that's not it.
I don't know.
College? The electoral college.
Oh, I didn't know if that's what you meant. I was thinking that, but I didn't know that was what you meant. Yeah, electoral
Okay.
college.
I No, Jason says he still agrees with the electorate because of the way California lives is not the way Nebraska lives, so California should not have the full power to make laws in other states. I don't want the electorate messing around. The popular vote in each state should be the popular vote in each state.
I think so. He has a good point, though. He says candidates would only go to big metro areas. He has a good point. If Nebraska or, say, North Dakota didn't have the electoral votes, candidates wouldn't go there. So I guess part of the reason for the electoral college is so that each state holds importance to a candidate. But that doesn't mean the candidate's going to go there anyways.
Hey,
Can't.
Oregon doesn't hold importance to anybody. I mean, just because we decide the electoral college doesn't really count doesn't mean we're going to have any more of a say.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has a good point. I still don't like the electoral college. I still would prefer a popular vote, but he does have a good point. I think that gives a little more weight to these smaller markets. Whereas if it was popular vote, you know, only 1,000 people or whatever are voting in Montana. I don't know what the actual number is, But if only a small amount of people are voting in Montana, then a candidate might think they can skip that and not affect their chances. But if they have more electoral votes, then candidate might feel like they, need to go there more. But I still don't like it. I still think it should be popular vote. Every one vote, one person, one vote. I truly believe
One
that's
person, one vote. That's one person, one vote is my take.
that's me. And I learned the first time in the year 2000 that that's not the way it works. And I was horrified, and I'm still horrified.
Yeah, the electoral college completely overriding what people in an entire state want,
Yeah,
to me is wrong.
it's wrong to me too. We always learned one person, one vote. And I honestly thought that was the way it worked. I was naive until the year 2000. I was like, well, of course you vote. If you vote, then whoever gets the most votes. But that's not the way it works, which is just crazy to me.
Unfortunately, we have a great record in midterms. Everybody seems to show up in midterms. And then
Yeah.
we come to the regular big 4-year election and nobody shows up.
Hmm.
And I understand we can't punish people for not voting.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
everyone's
that
choice.
is not going to work.
No,
That is
it's
not going to
everyone's
work.
choice. But
But
it is sad.
we cannot allow politicians to punish people for being the wrong race, the wrong religion,
Right.
the wrong side of the tracks, which is why I think, one person, one vote.
Yeah. It's so obvious. It shouldn't be radical. It's just obvious. Hmm.
California and New York would be the only place the candidates go, Texas and Florida.
He's talking about what I was saying that I said was a good point.
Yeah, yeah, it is a good point. It's just I want the world to work the way I want it to work, and
Well,
like it doesn't, and that's very frustrating.
and I still believe one person, one vote. That's kind of what we grew up with. That was always my understanding. Every vote counts. But then I was mortified to find out that it doesn't really work that way. Not every vote counts.
Well, I understood that the Electoral College was there to make sure that everybody had an equal voice.
Well, every
But
state,
when it
not every
came
person, every state. Mm,
every state had
mhm.
an equal voice.
Yeah.
But when it came to the last election, all of a sudden I realized how badly the system could be manipulated.
Uh-huh.
If we go back to one person, one vote and get rid of the electoral college,
Mhm.
even if we don't dramatically change the way our voting system works for 2020,
Mhm.
if we go back to one person, one vote, maybe we'd have a better chance of in 2020 of pop goes the weasel and get that booger out.
Yeah. And I would say this. Okay, it would suck if a candidate didn't think it was worth going to a smaller populated state because they didn't have that many voters. That would suck, but that would say a lot to the voters. If I lived in a less densely populated state, like say Montana, and a candidate didn't bother to come to my state because the candidate didn't think it was worth it, that would say a lot to me about that candidate, and that would cause me not to vote for that candidate. So you learn a lot about someone by what they don't do. So in that sense, you learn something about that candidate. You don't like them.
Yeah, I still think our whole voting system needs a dramatic reworking.
Mm,
I agree that one person, one vote is not it doesn't represent equally and but the electoral college isn't working either.
mm-mm. And Jason said he thinks that people would be less likely to vote in those smaller areas. I guess it would be discouraged. But I said, well, that's why we need to encourage people to vote. Doesn't matter if you're in Montana or New York City, vote. Your vote counts.
Yeah, that's why Iowa is big and that's why Pennsylvania is big. I just want people to get their our actual voting population is becoming is keeps on decreasing, is killing me because people don't actually
I
vote.
know.
I see the
Well,
decrease,
people,
but I don't know how to fix it.
I wish people were automatically registered to vote like in other countries. I don't understand why we can't not be automatically registered. I mean, it's up to everyone whether they vote or not, but at least we could be automatically registered. Like,
In Oregon,
yeah, in Oregon, you are, right?
yeah, in Oregon, the second you sign up for your ID or your driver's license, you are automatically registered to vote unless you're not a citizen.
I like
Obviously, my husband is not
that.
automatically registered to vote because he can't. I am
Mhm.
automatically registered to vote. My son
Yeah.
was automatically registered to vote when he signed up for his driver's license.
See, that's excellent. I don't understand why everyone else doesn't do that. That's a rarity. Most states don't do that. And I don't understand why. Why should we have to go out of our way to register? We should already be registered. And then if someone doesn't want to go vote, you can't make them vote, but at least pave the way so they can vote.
Quit throwing obstacles in their paths.
Yeah.
Voter fraud is almost non-existent. Come on.
It doesn't happen like some
Forcing
people say it
forcing
does.
somebody to go forcing a 99-year-old to go and attempt to get, proper identification to go put their mark down.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. They've lived in the same town all their lives.
Mhm.
Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. But I believe make it as
Well,
easy. Huh?
okay. I have direct proof that Trump has had an influence on my local area because I have seen all
Yeah.
the businesses that have gone down in the past 6 months because their products sat at the port and rotted away because they could not send them to
Good
China.
point. That's a good point.
They could not send them to
Yeah,
China.
because of the tariffs, it's caused a lot
Now
of
it's
problems with
extending,
business people.
yeah. And even though it's supposedly fixed now, more businesses are
Mhm,
still going down because they still have product still have not been able to send in the past. Now their financial
mhm,
troubles are coming back to bankrupt them now before they can get to the next season. So, yeah, I have
mhm,
seen the problems that this president has directly caused in his time in presidency. It has had a direct
mhm,
and immediate effect on my local area, the entire Willamette Valley. People are, fluctuating. Large corporations are coming in, buying land, not doing anything with it. It's remaining, completely not worked.
mhm,
Other large corporations are coming in, planting the same things that smaller farmers are planting, and in
mhm,
10 years, they're gonna be out competing all those tiny little farmers, which is part of the problem.
mhm,
So, yeah, I see that
mhm.
presidents have an effect on areas. Maybe it's just me in a rural area, I can see the effect, but I've seen the heartbreak that he's caused.
Like, I guess you don't know until it affects you. It's
Yeah,
easy to say that, "Oh, there's no effect on Americans," if it hasn't affected you yet, but when it does affect you, you'll know it.
the whole health insurance thing,
Yeah.
if If we leave, is my husband gonna be able to come back home?
Probably not.
If he goes on vacation, is he gonna be able to come back in?
Well,
That's
I get
so
scared
yeah, that
because
affects us.
yeah, Clint's brother's wife is Cuban, and her whole family is Cuban. And I get so nervous for them because, they go back to Cuba and come back. And I mean, I think they've still got it on the books where if you're Cuban, you're considered a refugee and you're allowed in. But that could change. What if that changes when they're in Cuba and all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, you can't come back? I mean, I get so nervous for them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
it's
think,
a very difficult well, I know something that we can agree on.
what?
We love Humble Bundle.
Yeah, I love Humble Bundle. Although I haven't been able to afford anything this month, but I've found some.
Can you
Uh,
oh, you found one. Can you tell us about the Humble Bundle you found? We'll be right back.
yeah, I think there are actually two. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Um, we have got two. All right. One of them is Design Like a Designer. And if you go in under our supporting page, then you can support us. Design Like a Designer. You've got 8 more days for this bundle, and it has things like typography for the people, the designer's web handbook, the designer's guide to business and careers, uh, the creative professional's guide to money, the web designer's idea book. So this is a lot, and I mean you're just paying $15 for all of it. Something called idea selling. So these sounds like very practical business oriented books for people who are in creativity or designing. The designer's guide to color combination. That's interesting. I like
All
that.
right.
All right, so I was just talking about the one called Design Like a Designer. And I said if they go under our Beery GE page, then they can support us. And I found a second one, Humble Bundle. Let's see, hold on. Cookbooks, cocktails, and party snacks. I might be interested in this one. I keep trying to.
Mm, mhm,
Yep.
mhm. Good.
There's one about cake. I,
A
what
woman's drink, bold recipes for bold women.
I'm not thrilled with this kind
I
of.
don't know what I don't even know what that's
I don't
about.
either. And there's one called Drink Like a Man. I'm not thrilled with these titles. I'm hoping maybe they're being ironic and maybe there's a little more to them than just the title. I don't know. But there's one.
Beer bites, tasty recipes and perfect pairings for brew lovers.
I'm gonna have to
That's
do
on the
this.
8 $8 or more.
Yeah, milk and cookies, marinades, brines, rubs, and glazes, salmon, holiday
S
baking.
cider made simple,
Great.
all about your new favorite drink.
Ooh, I might have to get this.
Oh,
Drink
I
more
love
whiskey,
cider.
wine.
Mm,
There's one about wine. Oh, there's one Treme stories and recipes from the heart of New Orleans. Slow
pasta
cooker.
by hand. Pasta by hand.
That
Hand-shaped
sounds great.
pasta.
Oh, nice. And then another one, simple one pan meals. I need that. I definitely need this one. It's got 15 days left. So you can spend the whole, I think probably $15 to get all of them. Yeah, $15. And you get
Mm.
all of them. Slow fire barbecue, 100 recipes for making delicious elixirs with or without booze. Holiday baking. See, I need this because I want to learn to do more stuff.
Aw, Jason, thank you for supporting us.
Oh,
We
thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you, Jason.
Don't forget that your purchase through our Our very good humble bundle links help pay for our place on SoundCloud and
Yeah.
our website space and all the wonderful things we do here. We don't receive a we don't receive an
No.
actual profit, but
Mhm.
we'd like to break even.
Yep. We're just happy when our stuff gets paid for, hosting stuff and all that.
Yeah, hosting costs money, and we appreciate every single dime that you put forward to help us out.
Yep. Because we love doing this. It's a labor of
We
love.
do. It is a labor of love. We'll be here till dawn or our voices give out, whichever comes first.
I know. Although I usually end up getting sleepy, honestly. I usually do end up getting sleepy, and I usually start doing this. Huh? Huh? What's going on? What's happening?
Well, before
And
you
Jason,
fall asleep. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Jason is now in the Linux fold.
Yes, yay!
Go, Jason. Oh, Linux. You know what? You know how I was talking last week about how my Samsung phone, it some of the apps are just kind of questionable.
Mhm.
Makes me wanna go to Linux even more, cause just I had to spend an hour trying to get it to transfer my photos and videos from my phone to my hard drive on
Oh,
my
I
computer.
know that's head
I
deskingly
had
frustrating.
It kept saying 0, and I'm like, "What is it saying 0 in folder? That's ridiculous," and I had to Google. It took me an hour to finally get it to recognize my freaking photos, and so it just made me much more wanna go to a Linux phone. Linux phones are clean, they don't try to trick you, they don't try to install crap on your phone. Linux all the
Yeah, and don't
way.
forget the Pine phone. Pine phone's coming out, and
That's what I
when
want.
we have more information, we'll definitely let you know about that one.
Yep.
Well, Lola, before you fall asleep on us,
Mm.
please let us know where on the internets we can find you.
The best place is Twitter. That's where I'm most active. At Lola Laracy, LOLALARISCY. And what about you, Linda?
Excellent. You can find me at L Tepler on Twitter. You can also find me on Amazon as Linda Tepler. You can find my books. You can find us on MeWe under Very Good Entertainment. Come on and say hello and show us your favorite beer. And if you have a link that you would like Very Good Entertainment to share on our Twitter, please give us a shout and we will be happy to take a look at it, and at the very least we'll be happy to discuss it with you.
Mhm.
So guys, this has been a quite an interesting discussion, and one I am absolutely sure we will revisit before before the elections happen. I'm not sure we'll be able to revisit the impeachment before the impeachment may or may not happen. Who
Mhm.
knows? But
Mhm.
we'll see what excitement happens next week.
Mhm.
And next time will be our British
Oh,
entertainment
before
show.
I forget, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna be in Louisiana for Thanksgiving. So we
Oh, that's right. Thanksgiving is coming up.
Yep, it's gonna be the Thursday before our next show, and I'm gonna be in Louisiana from Thursday until, like, Monday, so we might wanna pick a different day to do our next show.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we will reschedule
Yep,
our normal British
yep,
entertainment show.
mhm, yeah, we'll keep y'all posted, we'll figure it out.
And happy Thanksgiving
Happy
to
Thanksgiving.
everybody out there. I
Mhm,
will make sure that we do have some nice little Humble Bundle links. Even if we don't have a show, I'll make sure to get some Humble Bundle links
yeah,
out there on Twitter for
mhm,
everybody. Thank you so much, Jason. And thank you so much,
mhm.
Che. And
Thank you,
thank
Shay,
you
for
to
producing.
our early
Yeah,
commenter.
sir, Sergeant
Get
Coons,
all the way back up,
our
Sergeant
Hogan
Kuehl.
hero. Yeah, cute, he's so cute.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great beer, wine, cider, seltzer, soda, and please have a great night. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Bye.